Hey everyone, welcome to New Time Conversations with Olivia from Elemental Living and Karen from the White Temple. So the New Time energy was a term first used by Annie Senov with regards to the new energies here on the planet, and that can be seen in the children being born today, and is also the energies that are acquired during an AuraTransformation treatment, and which everybody nonetheless is feeling and being affected by. So in today's conversation, I'm going to interview Olivia, actually, about her AuraTransformation journey. So we're going to just give a little bit of personalised information about our own journeys, fully integrating, fully aligning with the New Time energy to the level that happens when you have an AuraTransformation. So Olivia,
Yeah.
so tell us about where you were at before the AuraTransformation. What kind of motivated the decision to have it?
So I was at a time when I was looking for something. I think I'd got to a point, I'd trained as a yoga teacher, and I'd got to the point where I felt like, I was just waiting for something to happen. And then my friend came home that I haven't seen in a long time, and he'd had an AuraTransformation with you, and he told me about it, and he felt like he needed to tell me. And then when I heard about it, I was just like, that's it, that's what I've been waiting for. And at the time, I was feeling really sensitive to other people's energies, like it was actually like physically painful, like feeling other people's stuff. And that was one of the main reasons, because it was starting to get me down, like on a daily basis. I just wanted like more protection and to just come into my power really, and really focus in on what my purpose was.
And so what was the journey afterwards, if you can like confine all of the major points?
Oh wow.
What were the biggest changes and also the challenges?
Obviously I was with someone, so leaving that relationship was quite difficult, and that came about the year after I had my AuraTransformation was actually quite turbulent. But I feel without the AuraTransformation I wouldn't have been able to cope with it as well as I had. I think I would have had a lot more pain because I wouldn't have had that protection barrier.
Right.
And for me, I was very fortunate to leave the country and go abroad for a little while, which really helped me to crystallise. So I wasn't around influence of like close friends and family. It allowed me to really kind of come to myself. And then just kind of, I feel like I'm still on the journey with it, kind of really coming into my truth. So, but I feel like I'm finally getting to know like who I really am.
So were there any kind of specific examples that you can give where you felt there was a change in how you operate, or could you give us a nice like overview of you being able to be in your truth more and feeling that protection and coming into yourself more?
It's quite hard because it's almost like I know that I was different before, but I can't really remember what it felt like before, because feeling how I feel now feels so real, if that makes sense. Whereas before it feels like it was almost like a dream, like I was a different person, but I'm the same person. So it's quite hard to explain, but just things like as in being aware, like in conversations and stuff, when it doesn't feel right, all my kind of special talents, if you like, have amplified. So I've always had a really good sense of, I call it my bullshit radar. So if someone's like not talking their truth, or I can really sense it. So, but I can sense it about myself as well. So if I'm talking to someone, I just instantly know that I'm buying into something or it's not coming from the truth. So I've just been really trying to work with that to kind of, but it's still like as in I come up with challenges with it, because I think before I was like a really big people pleaser, so to kind of like really step into my truth has been challenging. Yeah, but I can't not do it. It feels uncomfortable not to do it now. And working with the old time energy of kind of having that sense of, you know, like if stuff comes up sometimes it's all like fear stuff that we need to push on through, rather than like having it as like a warning sign. Like I went to the doctors and I felt this overwhelming sense of like, I think it was like anger in my heart, and I've never felt like that. It happened a couple of times after the AuraTransformation. And I remember I spoke to you about it and you were like, listen to that, whereas other people had been kind of saying to me, oh, it's triggering something, it's an old thing that you need to work through.
Yeah.
And what came out of it was that the doctor wasn't listening to me, and I did actually need something else. So if I hadn't have listened to myself, I wouldn't have, you know, I was in the right, like, and what he was saying was hurting my being, like.
Because you could recognise that it wasn't true.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
So there's like so what you're talking about there is all kind of in that region of having a deeper registration of truth.
Yeah.
Of both your own truth and who you really are, and also in other people and around you. So your intuition is strengthened, and you can no longer just go along with things just to please other people, or because there's some kind of authority saying that something's the way it is. So you have to listen to your truth. Almost it becomes uncomfortable to actually not
really
listen to your truth.
uncomfortable. And I find it really hard to kind of be around like not truth, like in people not speaking their truth. Like it aggravates me.
Yeah.
So it's quite an interesting
go on.
reflection.
So so it's like your energy field, it's almost like an alarm that goes off.
Yeah.
Where it's like some kind of like, okay, this is true, this isn't true, beep, 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 beep. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
And you know, just to kind of explain what's happening there a little bit inside the aura. So for instance, the indigo children, who are now the teenagers and also people in their early 20s. So the indigo energy is often the energy that you first acquire after you've had an aura transformation. It's kind of the bridge energy into the full crystallization of your spirit coming fully in, and your magnetic body fusing with your spirit, so that you have this really strong sort of inner truth, this inner calm. So to begin with the indigo energy, you just have this kind of like big bouncy field to give you this kind of protection, but there's still it's like you haven't fully come in yet, and so there's still like a lot of reacting to what's going on out there. And the indigo children can be quite, I mean, it's a term used by some of the other aura mediators with aura transformation. They can be quite bombastic. Okay. Because it's like, they react to things in their environments and society that they know are imbalanced. And so, so then it obviously looks like they're the ones that are being out of balance.
Yeah.
So you have parents and you have teachers and everything talking about these young people, these teenagers who are very outspoken, and they're all quite like got this attitude. But it's because they can feel all around them that everything isn't right, that there are all these imbalances in society, and they're aware of like in their families, in their schools, or in their colleges, people aren't honest with each other, and there are all these like little kind of games that people play, all these little agendas, and just that alone, like they retaliate against it, they react against it, or people asking them to do things that are not their truth. And they try and say no because they know it's not their truth, and then they just get, oh, you're being disobedient, and so
Yeah.
I feel quite passionate about that. Because there's a lot of misunderstanding, because we're used to the idea of being kind of an evolved consciousness, a balanced consciousness, as being someone who kind of can be peaceful and polite and obliging no matter what's going on in their environments, and who listens to authority and all these things, basically that you do what you're told, and you're a nice person. And that is it's such a kind of suffocation of the truth, you know. It's such a, it literally just makes me feel like you said, like it makes me feel angry, you know, that all these imbalances in society right now are held in place by people not speaking the truth.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
By people just, you know, just going along, keeping the status quo, instead of like ripping those old systems about and declaring what your truth is, because you know it in your heart. And so, and obviously young people, they're quite powerless because, you know, they have to, you know, they can't, that, you know, until they're at the age where they can start stepping out on their own, they have to be around these kind of imbalanced energies.
I do really feel for the young people in the school system right now, because they are, like you say, exactly what you said is happening. And it's really clear, actually, if you look around us and what is going on, you can see it. But our school system's not evolving to meet the needs; it's staying the same. So the children are becoming like what you're talking about, and with that, the school system's not evolving with them.
Yes, exactly. And that's a major reason why AuraTransformation actually came about. You know, it was founded in Scandinavia because, I mean, I say because as if it was a logical reason, but obviously there is a higher reason. But over there, you know, the childcare is much more prioritised.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, they're able to give more attention to more evolved ways of bringing up children. Yeah, and then as I think you kind of said there, that as you further crystallised, as you went more and more into the journey of crystallisation, where what happens is the spirit starts to condense down and merge into the magnetic field that you acquire with the AuraTransformation and into the physical body, your truth becomes much more strengthened. So on the one hand, it's really beautiful because it can't be pushed around as much. You know, you're not, that kind of reaction is almost like a panic because somebody can, you know, you can push you a little bit. But once that truth is firm within yourself, it's just like, this is just my truth. But at the same time, it, you know, in another sense, you can react more because once you know your truth, yeah, you can be completely calm and you're just going about things your way so long as you can. But then if someone tries to make you do something that you don't want to do, it's like all hell can break loose because you just can't. Because like you said, it hurts so much to try and make yourself do something. And that's why you have these little children these days, the crystal children, who can be completely angelic and loving and gorgeous. And then you try and get them to do something that doesn't correspond to their truth, and like earthquakes. A tornado appears in the room. So, yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So yeah, in the next one, we will maybe interview my journey. Okay, thanks everyone.
Bye.